What's up, y'all? I just picked up this 2001 Yamaha Raptor 660. I know, yet another one. I think it's about the fourth one in the garage this year. But anyway, the guy was riding it, said it just shut off on him and he couldn't get it started again. I got it for 750 bucks, so I think that was a pretty good deal. Didn't have a battery in it when I got it, so couldn't hear it try and turn over or anything. But I got a new battery put in it, and here's what it's doing. Sounds like the starter's not engaging, or the ring gear in there, the one-way bearing's not working properly, but we'll turn to that side and see what's wrong with it here, see if we can get it running. But pretty clean quad, so hopefully it's a fairly easy little project here. Everything looks all right in here, but this should be only going one way. I'm not really sure which way, but it seems like the one-way bearing in there might be shot. So we'll take this cover off and see what we can see down in there. Holy cow, I don't think they used enough gasket maker on this thing. My word. Look at all this. Criminy. Oh yeah. That one-way bearing's out. So I'll have to... Oh no! The nut is welded on. That really sucks. Well, I guess we'll spend some time trying to get this nut off. And really hope we don't have to tear it apart and put a new crankshaft in it. Wow, that sucks. This is busted over here too. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this bolt hole over here is busted. Busted out. No wonder I got it for so cheap. Alright, we'll try and get that nut off, see what we can do there. Well, we're making some progress. I have to get a bigger impact on this. Gonna have to rethread this thing. Whoo, she's coming. Yeah, buddy. Holy cow. All right, well, could have been worse, but... Are you kidding me? Now this is welded on? They welded on the magneto now too. Really wish people knew how to work on stuff, but what you gonna do about it? All right, we got the pieces here. On this starter gear here, here's where the one-way bearing rides, and fits in here. But anyway, it's hard to see, but there's some scoring on it, and I think it locked up at one point. It's probably hard for you guys to see as well, but these bearings in here have some flat sides to them, so I think this got locked up at some point and then was just rubbing on here, and now it's not functioning properly. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. When it's laying down, it works as it's supposed to. It locks up. But if I go this way, it's really hard to do one-handed. Anyway, when I put it vertical like this, the one-way bearing just doesn't function like it's supposed to. So anyway, we're gonna order up a new, I'm not even sure what they call this, but a new starter gear, and pretty sure it's not a starter gear, it's what they call it, but flywheel maybe. Order up that, and we'll see if we can just get this one-way bearing housing and not the magneto part, because we don't need that. I think I can clean up my terrible grinding butt needed done. Anyway, get that cleaned up, and I think this magnet will be able to work properly. The shaft down here doesn't look terrible. Actually, it feels pretty good, so we'll just be able to leave that. Oh, okay, so it sheared off the key in here. That's why they welded it. So while we're waiting for parts, we'll try and get that out and get a new key for it as well. If we can't get that out, I'm not really sure what to do. I don't exactly want to weld it again, so we'll get that key out, at least cut a new keyway and be able to put a key in and use it that way. So it probably sheared off the key, and I don't know, maybe that created some debris in there and then locked up that one-way bearing. But yeah, we'll get new parts for this and get it slapped on. Should be good to go then, hopefully that's it. Hopefully it'll start up right after that. But anyway, yeah, we'll get the parts. We'll get it back together, and hopefully it runs. We'll see, I guess. And just like magic, in a few seconds, I got new parts. Came with gasket kit. Came with the actual flywheel puller. So don't need that anymore, but that's cool for future projects. And then also came, I got, I don't know if I can get it open. The new starter clutch. Only took 2 days to get here from Amazon, so that's not that bad, but a few seconds for you guys, so that's pretty cool. So we're gonna get this put on the old magnet, clean up the inner diameter of it in here, and then we'll put it back together, see if it works. So yeah, I'll get that done. I got a little better, so we'll get it cleaned up and then put it back together. Got a Woodruff key, so I think I got a whole assortment, so we'll see which one fits. And I'll use that one, but I think it's time to put it back together. There we go. Now she ain't moving. That looks proper. Let's see if we can't get this nut on as well. Alright, we got a die and we were able to get it rethreaded. Got another nut here. And it goes on pretty decent. So I think that'll work. It'll snug up pretty good. Got a new Woodruff key in there. So yeah, it's a little easier to do it the right way. If this ever has to come off again, it won't be welded. Somebody will just be able to, you know, take the nut off like you're supposed to and then use a clutch puller or a harmonic balancer puller and get that right off. So we'll get this all snugged up, figure out what we need to torque it to with the new thread pitch that it is. But yeah, we'll get that torqued down, then get this side cover put back on, and then make sure she's got oil in it and try and fire it up, see how it goes. Alright, got it all buttoned back up. Gotta let the gasket maker sit for a little bit before we try and start it. But hopefully it'll all hold. Hopefully it works. So we'll let that sit for a bit, do something else, and then come back and see if she starts. Hoping she does. All right, we'll let it sit for a little bit. See how it does. Turns over. Choke doesn't like to stay on, so we're gonna fix that and then start her back up. Well, it's definitely burning oil or something. I mean, obviously burning oil, but I'm not sure where from. Gonna check the valves. Sounds like it's ticking a little bit. Hopefully it's just the valves. Yeah, we'll figure out why it's smoking so much, burning oil. But I mean, it runs, starts. One-way bearing's doing its job, so that part seems fixed. On to the next issue. Okay, we got the valve covers off. This one is pretty good. This is the intake. Then these two are tight, so we'll have to fix those. And then on the exhaust side, it's hard to see in here. We'll see if you guys can hear it. But, they're both real loose, so we'll get the exhaust tightened up, get the intake loosened up, get those to the correct shim gauge spec, and then we'll put her back together, see how she runs then. I still need to I want to take off this exhaust head pipe and see if there's oil or something in it that's making it smoke so much. But we'll do all that and I'll let you guys know what I find. Got the valve clearances all checked out. No oil in the head pipe, so I don't know. We're just gonna run it, see if it works its way out. Might need a new top end. But yeah, let's get it put back together and then start her up, see if it's still smoking. Alright, let's see what happens when we run it now. Not sure if we need to choke or not. Wow, this stinks. Adjustment. pretty good other than that knock. Oh, there's some smoke starting up. Wonder if we take it for a ride, if that'll clear up. Coolant's dripping. Tighten that up. Gas just started dumping out the carb, so that's not good. It's still going in the far carb. Oh, we're gonna figure out why it's doing that. That's not good at all. We did have the Petcock start leaking on us. It was sitting here overnight. Came out in the morning, it smelled like gas out here. Come to find out the Petcock was just dripping fuel throughout the night, so that was a fun find. But anyway, we got a new Petcock, cheap off Amazon. Hopefully it's what we need and it does the trick. Looks the same. Gaskets and filters. We shouldn't be leaking now. Let's see. So far so good. Won't know until we know though. Leave it up here laying like this, and then by the time we're done cleaning the carbs, we'll know. Okay, got the carbs pulled out. I'm pulling the choke cable off. I did notice there's no needle on the end of this choke, and there's supposed to be. So we were just flooding it out every time we turn the choke on, which makes sense because it never started with the choke. You have to have the choke all the way off for it to even want to run. So I think I have a new one of those, so we'll get that swapped out while we're at it, and hopefully that'll help it start easier using the choke and actually utilize it. So we'll tear into these, see what we find, clean them up a little bit. Alright, the bottom part of the carbs looked okay. I took the caps off with these diaphragms and the slides, and the left one here, the slide was kind of just in there. The spring's chilling, just doing its own thing, and then wasn't even, sat down all the way into the jet down here. This right one's kind of how it should be. You should be able to press on the end of this and it won't go out, just stays in there with that spring. So I figure out what's going on with that, and I think we'll spray out all the ports, make sure it's clean, but I think this will be a lot of the starting issues and running issues. So I think I'm surprised it was even running with how this carb looks. But we'll clean it up, get it put back together, and then fire her up and see how she runs then. But I think we found another problem for this thing. All right, we got fuel on, no leaks. See if choke works this time. Cool. We'll get the plastics back on and take it for a ride. Alright, so it was bogging bad and spitting coolant out. Looks like the coolant's spitting out from down here. I think that's the pump. Maybe. Well, the water pump's down here. So I'm not sure what this is. Maybe just the thermostat, but it's leaking from there, you can see. So I have a spare one of these that I'll throw on. So we'll get that taken off, swapped out. And then for the carbs, it was running the stock 140 and 145 main jets. So I'm going to swap those out with 160 and 165 because it's got the aftermarket pipe on it. And we'll see if that does anything for us. So we'll go ahead and get that done and then see how she rides then. Alright, we got the coolant leak fixed, I believe. This is the thermostat. I had to grab a new one out of my parts bin, or a new used one, I guess, and get that swapped over. But I ran it for a little bit and it's doing fine. The carburetor, I ended up putting 160 and 165 jets in them. It had, let me see. It had 150 and 145 jets. 140 and 145 are stock, so I was wrong about that. It had one up on the jets, which still wasn't enough. So we're gonna hook the gas tank back up and see if it revs out any better. If so, we'll take her on a test ride then. Well, I got the gas tank back on, turned the gas on, and then this carb started leaking gas out of the overflow, so we're gonna have to see if that needle seat's messed up or chewed up or something. So we'll take the gas tank back off and then pull these carbs off and see what's going on with that needle seat, see why it's overflowing. All right, there's some stuff in the, well, in both carburetors. They both ended up leaking, but we got it cleaned out, so the needle seating all the way, fuel on. Hope it doesn't leak. I already tested it and it didn't, so I think we're good. But see if it revs out. Need to adjust the throttle cable a little bit. Got it. Oh, maybe that was the issue. It was pinched a little bit. I'll try that again. That's better. Still don't like that. That's almost acting like a safety switch or something, so we'll go through, double check this switch, the parking brake, and the reverse switch. See if we can find anything wrong with those. Alright, I just moved the clip position on the slide needle all the way down, so it's allowing more fuel in, and it's revving out a little better. It seems to be running kind of rich though. It kind of bogs and then picks up right away. So I'm going to show you guys how I move that, how I take it out, and then move that clip position. We're going to try and lean it out a little bit now. This one's simple. We can just take these covers off. Try and do this with one hand. There is a spring, so you got to be careful. Got to hold it down. So we'll take that off. There's a spring under there. Oh, well, you guys can see it. Here's a spring. And then you can pull this slide out with the needle and the diaphragm. Be careful not to put any tears in this diaphragm or it'll make it run real weird. All right, so on this slide, you got this needle, and you can, in here, you can pop this out with some needle nose, just pull it. There's this, I don't know, stay with an O-ring that keeps it in, and then a spring, and then there's a washer on top, and then you got the clip. You can see the grooves in there on which position. I have it all the way down so it's more up, so it allows more fuel. And so you can pop that little clip off. Here's that. It fits in those grooves. And then I'm going to move it just up one. So I had it all the way down, so I'm going to move it up one groove. Maybe. It's kind of hard, it's so small. Alright, there you go. Well, I thought that was it. You can hear it click in when you get it correct. There it went. And put the washer back on. And this spring. And then this. Then you can slide it back in there. And then I use pliers. You'll hear it kind of snap back in like that. And then it should have a little play in it. So we'll throw that back in. And then I'll do the other one. Then we'll start it up, see how it runs then. Alright, let's see if this is any better. Gas on. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. We'll get her buttoned up and hopefully take it for a test ride this time. Alright, after a whole lot of trial and error, we have 170 main jets in each, and the mixture screws 4 turns out. Pilot jets are still 27 and a half. It was bogging out on the test ride. It's been a couple weeks since that test ride. Got busy with other things, but I think that's the last video I left off on, but it was bogging, and so now we got it a little better. It still chokes out a little bit at partial throttle. There you were able to hear it choke out a little bit, but I think we might be able to ride past that point. So we'll take it on a quick little ride. It's pretty cold out. I don't know that I'm going to film it. I'm just going to take it down the road and back. We'll see how it does. I'll let you guys know. It's cold. But yeah, took it for a little ride, quick ride. These slicks on the back are really sketchy on the salted and icy snowy roads, so that was kind of fun, especially with no seat. I was standing up and took off and it lifted up. They actually hooked on the dry part and hooked up, did a wheelie, so I sat my butt right down and then kept going. But anyway, it hooks up good. I kind of played with the throttle at quarter where it was choking out, and it wasn't choking out at all, didn't choke out at all, didn't bog. So I think we finally got that figured out. 170 main jet, 27.5 pilot jet, 4 turns out on the mixture screw, which means we need to go bigger main jets, which through all the forums I've never seen. So I don't know if there's a big bore kit in this and an aftermarket pipe and a mixture of them just need more fuel or something, or what's going on. Not sure, but it works. We're gonna leave it, we're gonna run it. I need to check the oil, and I think she'll be good. She knocks a little bit still. I'm gonna see if changing the oil helps anything. I think it might be a little low. So we'll change the oil, I'll let you guys know. But other than that, man, she runs good, she rips pretty good. So I think there's something done to the engine. I'm not sure what though. All right, we got the oil changed in her. Still knocking a little bit. Kind of softened up, I think, in my opinion. But it runs, rides. Sounds decent other than that part. Not sure what that could be. It could be from the whole issue with the flywheel and all that. So, but runs right, sounds decent. Revs out. Good quad. This was a pretty time consuming and eventful little fix between the flywheel, everything being welded on there, having to figure out the carbs. Finally got those figured out. I had to replace the Petcock. I don't even remember what else I had to do on this. Still needs new rear wheels at least. Got racing slicks on the back pretty much. But yeah. Runs and rides. We'll maybe take it on a test ride tomorrow. It's supposed to be negative temps, but I think I'll end the video here. At least won't film if I take it on a test ride. But yeah, thanks for watching. 4th Raptor, I think, in the garage this year. So starting to kind of get to know them. Maybe we'll get another one soon, maybe not. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.